Okay, this video is going to be the first half clips that I selected to break down for the BYU game versus Arkansas from this last Saturday. Just want to thank those that have been following why they do it and for the support you guys have given of these breakdowns. I really enjoy doing them. I'll continue to work on the second half clips, and those should be coming out soon. But as far as the first half goes, let's get on to it.
Okay, this is the play that's that little return. We start like we're in motion. We throw the ball out there, and we're trying to get the man defender to over pursue on the motion. So the play always starts with this, where this guy's going to come around like he's going in motion as if he's going to run a route out here. But what he does is he starts his motion and then he swings back this way. And what BYU is hoping is that either this guy has to run man across, and as he's sprinting across to try to get over to this side of the field, our player returns back, and then by this time this guy notices he's late, and we set up the blocks and we get there. Or the other thing is that as these guys rock, that then we catch them in the rock with this guy sinking, and then this player returns out here, we throw him the ball, and we get a block. Here, though, you can see not only is Arkansas prepared for it, but they have an extra defender. So here, let's let it run. There starts the motion. You can see them start to rock, but now watch this player right here. Watch how he recognizes, oh, here it comes. See that? He's saying, nope, here's that play that they run. He's going to return that way. So watch them quickly start to move this direction, and then watch, they have an extra player right here. So what happens is BYU sets it up. There's the block that's going to happen there. We're going to get outside here. The goal would be that we beat this player to a place upfield and try to pick up some yards. But this is the player that BYU is unaccounted for. We have nobody to block him. And because of that, here you can see Isaac is getting on his block. We do not have somebody for him, and he's recognizing pretty quick what the play is. And for that reason, we really don't get anything here. Okay, this is the second play on the drive. On this, you'll see that BYU goes with a quick pass concept. The ball gets knocked down as soon as it gets to the receiver. So let's talk about what this concept is. You're going to be able to see that off the line, BYU is going to run a snag concept. What that means is you're going to have a corner route, you're going to have a snag sit route, and you're going to have a flat route. Now, on defense, what they're going to do is they're going to play cover 6, which means quarter, half. Okay? Up here, this is your half player. This is a quarters player. This is a quarters player. You would anticipate that this quarters player right here is going to sync with depth. He does a really good job of playing this concept. This player right here, this is called the flat defender. Now, what we anticipate is that we anticipate as this route here widens to the flat, this flat defender is going to expand. And that's why this snag route gets to come and settle right behind him. The only thing that can get in the way of this is if this now middle player expands far enough to take that away, which he usually doesn't. He usually sinks here with depth. It's usually a pretty easy route to hit. But what happens right here is that this quarters player recognizes it and drives really hard. Makes a pretty good play. So here you'll see, here we come off the ball. There you can see that's going to be the corner. There's going to be the out, and here's going to be the little snag settle. So the snag settle happens. As soon as Keaton sees the flat player widen, he's throwing it. He's going to rip it. And as you can see right there, we have a little bit of space. But this defender that you see, this is the quarters player jumping it. Super aggressive play by this quarters corner. But because of his aggressiveness, he makes a play and then makes it now third down. All right, on this third down play, we have a little sprint out. What this sprint out is a sprint out to the right to a little mid-tier throw on a sail route that we have in our hands. We don't complete it. What this basically is conceptually is we are going to get a wide and release go route. The second level is going to be a sail route, and we're going to have somebody in the flat right now. The offensive line is going to be in a full slide. They're going to work away from the sprint out. This back is going to start to this edge, and then he's going to try to hook this end man on the line of scrimmage. And as you'll see, Keaton's in straight sprint out mode. Now, what they're trying to do is they believe they can run this this is great versus 3 deep zone. This can also be good versus man as well if we get leverage on this route right here, this set route. But versus 3 deep zone, there's usually going to be a defender that's going to sit right through here. And then what we're doing is we're trying to take the corner, run the corner off, and then we're trying to play a high-low. This route here is the high, this is the low. If the corner steps up, ball goes to the sail. If the corner sinks, we just take the flat right now. So you'll see Keaton on the sprint out, comes out to the right. You see all those players start to take off, and here you can see there's that quick little out route. This is going to be that wide and go. This player starts inside, and he's going to run the sail. Now what happens here is the sail is open. But what you can't see is that this defender driving here creates a little bit of a window right here. And as that sail route, right as he comes out of it, he's open. And he starts to give body language like he's going to throttle and settle right there. And so I think as I watch this, that's when Keaton's releasing the ball. Keaton's getting a body language signal that says, hey, I'm just going to kind of settle in this space right here. I know I'm open. And as he settles, or as Keaton throws a ball like he's settling, this player continues out. So they're just not totally on the same page. As you can see, he's wide open. In college football, any level of football really, when you have this type of space between somebody, it's wide open. This ball needs to be completed. Okay, and I wish it wasn't so blurry here, but you know, we have this ball. This ball is essentially caught, needs to be caught, but it's not. It's incomplete. And when you see it from like, they show the backfield on the TV copy, you can see that Keaton's throwing a ball for this player right as he comes out, and as he kind of throttles, Keaton's delivering a ball right on him. And as this player comes out and shows like he's going to throttle, he keeps moving, and it ends up getting a little bit on his back shoulder here. But either way, you know, it's a ball that can and should be completed right there. Does it look as clean as it should have? No. This should be an easier completion. Unfortunately, it's an incompletion. Okay, this play is a keeper to the left, and this is just an unbelievable play by Keaton and Isaac to be able to fill that space right there and know that he's going to be kind of throttling and passing that guy by. You rarely ever see a throw like this and a completion like this on this play. What this basically is this is going to be a keeper concept. So you got the over. This is going to be a widened comeback. Then you're going to have a clear out, go or corner, but they're just clearing out. And this is going to be your late trail down flat. Now, everybody reads this out a little bit different, right? This could be 1 to 2 to 3. It could be 1 to then fill the space where, depending on what this flat player does, could take you to the comeback or the down flop. But in any means here, Keaton's going to give a hard outside zone action. Line should be faking zone here. He's going to bump that edge, and then he's going to be late outside here, and Keaton's going to go keep left. So here it's fake zone out here to his right, keeping left. Now this is when I want you to notice this part right here, this man trailer, okay? See him trailing man with Isaac, and Isaac's going to be on this over. They're going to run out of the picture here, but essentially this guy is going to run the route for Isaac. He's going to run it for him. And the crazy thing that Isaac does is that Isaac slows down and lets him basically pass him by running the route. So as Keaton flips his hips right here, they're still even. But right here, Isaac gives a little bit of a feel of, I'm going to let this guy pass me by, and I'm going to float behind him. It is unbelievable that Keaton felt this, had enough trust to make this throw, and put it on the mark. But right here, this is, Isaac has kind of gotten his chest facing forward and is starting to slow down. This player doesn't even realize it and just keeps passing. Now, there's not that much room still. If you notice, that's why this ball is being caught behind this defender running this way. Here you can see the comeback pushed his guy off, and he's on top of him. But to complete this ball, the chance of completion is low. The ability to feel Isaac do that and throw it, it's pretty impressive. And the fact, I mean, rarely do you see a defender jump and with his inside hand, as he's underneath a defender, he tries to make that stop. This was very, very impressive by both those guys. The fact that they're able to complete it and get a first down. You are not going to see a completion like that very often on this type of play. Okay, so this is going to give a great view. You saw it on game day, this back view, but I just want to show it again. They're showing you on the instant replay, but you can see how Isaac just gives this little picture of, I'm gonna feel that this guy is running the route for me. My only chance is to show that I'm gonna play on the opposite side of him. I mean, you can say that this is back shouldering a crossing route where the receiver is beating him to the spot. The likelihood of completing this ball right here is so slim. The fact that Keaton, as he's separating his hands right here, is feeling that Isaac is going to be slowing down is just so impressive. And the fact that Isaac does this, makes this play is, I mean, like I'll tell you this. This is the first thing that Dennis Pittis said when he saw me and we were talking about the game. He was like, can you believe this throw and catch? And they completed it on the crossing route on the keeper to the left. I mean, it's just very, very, very rare, but so cool to see these guys do that.
Okay, we are going to talk about this trick play that BYU used to score the touchdown here in the first quarter. This well-designed throwback to the running back. We're going to talk about what is the key to making him so wide open. So as we get back to the beginning of the play, you'll notice that they're in man coverage here. What that means is locked up man, locked up man, locked up man on the running back, locked up man. The big key is going to be noticing where this linebacker's eyes are during the play and what happens when the ball comes out of Keaton's hands. So here you'll be able to see right as the play starts to develop, Parker's coming in motion. He's going to kick back, get behind Keaton so that it's a lateral. Notice where this linebacker's eyes are. They're going to be on his running back. You can see his face mask forward facing the running back. When the ball is delivered, now you're going to notice his face mask is here in the direction of the original throw. What he's doing is he's reacting to that throw. When his eyes are here, they are not on the running back. So it's a really simple way to get man coverage, throw the ball, his eyes are off of his player. Parker drops a great ball on him. It's a wide open touchdown. That's why there was no pick involved. The whole key was as soon as the ball came to this side of the field, that linebacker's eyes, like we said, now they're completely over here. He's lost his man in coverage, and now we can throw the ball to him downfield for a wide open touchdown. Really well play designed, well executed for a touchdown. All right, 14-7 here in the first quarter. We're going to talk about this really nice counter play that was well blocked for this big touchdown run. Obviously a huge play in the game. Great to see our offensive line set this up. But let's talk about why it works, why it's executed so well. So this is the counter. You're going to see they're going to get these down blocks here. You're going to get a hinge block on the back side to make sure that that area that this guard and tackler are pulling from doesn't get run through. So you have all these down blocks. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get your two pullers. Now this first puller, ideally, this guy comes upfield and we get a kick out, which takes him this way. And then the other puller is going to insert in. But that's not what we get here. We get what's called a log. And what that means is as the puller comes around, this guy squeezes and stays inside. Because he squeezes and stays inside, he's going to log him in, and then now the second puller is going to come around him. So just to kind of review that, ideally, you expect this guy to come upfield. If he comes upfield, this first puller kicks him out, second puller inserts up to the backer. But on a log, if this player squeezes down, now he is going to come and log him down, and then he is going to pull around, and then the running back will then follow and read off any block of that second blocker. So, as you can see, he squeezes down, so he logs him inside. That's this block right here. Now here comes our second puller. Here he comes. Great read here by the running back. I just want you to notice, see this block here? Because he's running underneath, we can beat this with speed. This is good enough of a block because that defender's running underneath. You have all these other ones sealed pretty good. We're on our blocks. When he blocks this guy out right there and our running back is going to cut it up, we have to win with speed anytime somebody tries to run underneath a block. And that's what happens here. He wins with speed. Really good job of our wideout being on this block. Now you can bet on it. This is getting talked about in their meeting of saying we cannot miss those type. We can't have an arm tackle right here because we get a good little block here, a little chip. We again win with speed, and now it's just out the gate, right? Great to see this thing finished off all the way for a touchdown. Really, really good blocking inside by our offensive line. Great job hitting the hole with speed. Really well executed play for a big rushing touchdown.
All right, we're going to talk about this little line play, I like to call it, right? What it is this ball is thrown behind the line of scrimmage. So because of that, you can block upfield. Now, let me tell you why. Let's break down why this play works. So what you're going to get is you're going to get what looks like sift action, which means you're going to get this zone action this way, and Isaac looks like he's going to be the sifter going to block the end man on the line of scrimmage. But because of the inside zone action, you're going to see the end and this hook backer, they're going to be sucked in a little bit because of the fake. So the coverage here is quarter, half. This person is playing as the flat player. Sometimes you can also combo coverage, which means if I draw a line down the middle of the coverage like this, it may be a man coverage up here to the top with a half safety over the top and then a quarters coverage down here. But what I believe I'm seeing is this is the flat player, this is a half player, this is a quarters player, and then this player right here is going to sink and he's going to be the other quarters player. So this is the hook player. He has the hook area of the field. And the thing that's going to happen is he's going to be influenced by the run and the end is going to be influenced by the run. Because they're influenced by the run, when Isaac runs out into the flat right here and he's behind the line of scrimmage, all we got to do is block this flat player and it's off to the races because either the safety or the hook backer that bit or the end that bit are going to be the guys that make the tackle. So we'll let this play out. Here comes Isaac. He slips out into the flat. Can you see how he's behind the line of scrimmage? Behind the line of scrimmage, you can see the influence of the run. And on man line of scrimmage bites, hook backer bites. We're already locked up here on this corner. He catches the ball, and watch this. Great job by the receiver. He's not getting hands on. He's not pushing in the back. All he's doing is just getting in the way so that player has to go around him to try to make the play, which is basically the block. And now we can get upfield, and as you see, this is that half safety. He has to make the play. 5-yard gain. I call it a line play because basically it's behind the line of scrimmage. And I want to talk about one more element. This is actually a read by the quarterback. So right here, when he puts the ball into the running backs, as he seats it or puts it into his belly, he's looking at this player right here. And he's saying, does this player bite hard enough? Does this player bite hard enough? And does this end bite hard enough that now we can outflank him with this flat? So he's reading that space. Now, I don't know if he's got a certain key, if it's only one of them, if it's only this backer, or if he's feeling the end first. But I know that this right here, they have their eyes on to see what they're doing, because if those guys hang, I'm going to back up a little bit. If this end comes upfield and this backer hangs, we want to give this ball because now we're going to be able to get front side really well and run that inside zone. So it's a read play. Here, because those players bite, the ball goes out into the flat. Great job blocking, easy 5-6 yard.
Okay, I want to show this play next. This is very similar to the play that was just ran that I broke down, but it's similar into the run play. We have somebody we're reading, and then Isaac's going to slip out of the backfield. Slip out into the flat, but he's going to be behind the line of scrimmage. I like all the different movements that this play has. So you'll see we bring a guy in motion, comes in motion, starts to work the other way. Now watch how many people we have crossing here. We have a cross here, what looks like a little like jet sweep motion. We have somebody that's coming from the opposite side that looks like he's a sifter, a little deep in the backfield, but it looks like he's a sifter. And then we have another player that's a little inside zone. When you have all this movement in the backfield, a lot of the times you're going to get these kind of like, I want to say frozen footwork, or they're going to bite on the run, because also their keys. What are their keys telling them, right? Their keys are in the offensive line. What is their key telling them right here? The offensive line is selling this zone action this way, front side. So with action in the backfield, with all this crossing in the backfield, you should get these players to step up. Now, This player right here looks like he's manned up on Isaac, and we got man here. Looks like they're rotating to some type of man coverage with a robber here in the middle of the field. We've seen that before from them on tape. Now the cool part is what happens out here on the edge. So Keaton's going to put the ball in. I believe at this point in time right here, this is the player he's king. He's king that if this guy shuffles down, and when they shuffle down, what they're trying to do is as this player blocks zone action, they do not want there to be a gap. So what they do is they shuffle down to take that gap away, right? And they're trying to slow play read the quarterback here. Well, when he shuffles down, now that gives us an opportunity to out leverage him to the flat. Now this is a really good job by the receiver. I want you to notice where his eyes are. See how his eyes are inside? He's recognizing it's man coverage. When he recognizes it's man coverage, that's telling him as Isaac runs to the flat, there is a player that's running with Isaac. So you're going to get what's called push crack. And what that means is he's going to push his man, and then he's going to crack on the guy that is following Isaac. And we can block him because the ball is caught behind the line of scrimmage. That's why I call these little line plays or line screens. So I'm going to play it out. He pushes up. Here comes the guy chasing Isaac. He cracks him. Excuse me. This is how you get 2 for 1. Because he pushed and then he cracks, that guy that's on him is going to follow him in. That creates space here now where it's just a run for the first down. He's just going to have to beat him, which he turns upfield, and that's what he does. I just really like the design of this play. With all the movement here in the backfield, everything that's happening here, they're in man coverage. You know the guys that aren't in man that are eyes in the backfield, they're going to be held. They get held, and we outflank him with that little throw behind the line, and we pick up a first down. Really.
Okay, we've talked about these concepts before, but I just kind of want to highlight a throw, a rhythm and timing that's really, really good. This is a 1st and 10 play, and this is from the far hash all the way to the sideline. A ball just put right on the money. These plays are mirrored routes, okay? It's 7-man protection, and what that means is I got my 5 offensive linemen. I have one back to one side or tight end, and I have a back or tight end to the other side. That creates my 7-man protection. The inside guy is reading the middle. I know we've gone over this before, but I'll do it again. If there's one safety sitting in the middle of the field, he is going to then snap it off and run a basic. If there are 2 safeties in the middle of the field, he is going to run a seam bender down the middle. Now, that could impact what these outside receivers do if it's cover 2, because they could convert their route, which means change their route and adjust it based off of the coverage. But here, we get a single high coverage, right? We can see it's man coverage. You can see locked up, locked up, locked up, locked up, locked up, okay? In this sense, they are going to be able to run their mirrored route, and it's going to stay on. And what their routes are is they are 14-yard stop routes, 14-yard stop routes. For 14 yards, they sell, I'm going to run by you vertically. I'm going to threaten you vertically, and then they put their foot in the ground and they come out of it. The reason why I wanted this on here is because Keaton does such a good job in this small space to maintain his balance. And then now watch him drive this throw. That ball is being smoked on a line from far hash. The ball is being caught almost right at 14 yards, right there at like 14, 15 yards. Now, sometimes they'll push a little deeper just because they got to make sure they run the guy off. And that may be why you see Keaton right at the top. He's going to confirm coverage. He's going to have eyes inside. And then right here, he's going to feel versus man coverage. Sometimes versus man coverage, these vertical then stopping routes, the timing isn't as clean. But the reason why I wanted to highlight timing is because how Keaton stays in rhythm and on time, even when it's not exactly in rhythm and on time. He keeps the rhythm and timing of it. Watch when that ball is thrown and as it's coming out, our receiver is barely, if you look up here, he is barely out of the route, and that ball is already out of Keaton's hands, already traveling there. And then the way that he drives it, I love seeing this. I love seeing balls thrown right on receivers' foreheads. If that receiver's not there, that ball is driving through the sideline. This was a big-time throw. This is an NFL caliber throw right here, and it's a great way on first down to pick up another first down. I love it. Okay, great play to break down here. Great catch by Isaac Rex. It was a big play in the game on 2nd and 8 for chunk yardage. The tight space that we throw the ball from was excellent, and the play setup was excellent. It's a play that BYU has used, especially with all the man covers that Arkansas has been running. So what it is this is that little motion, like some people call it an orbit motion, where he's going to come into the back, and then he goes the other way. Now remember, we talk about in man coverage, either this guy's going to run across with him, and then so he puts his foot in the ground and tries to beat him, or they're going to do what these guys are doing here, which means as that motion comes, they're going to kick coverages, right? And what they're going to do is he's going to send a guy running to the back, someone's going to go to the back, another guy's going to come down. They have a plan, and so watch, you'll be able to see their plan in place. Sometimes they say, like they're on a little string here together. So as you can see, the corner, he is going to run to the middle of the field, and the safety is saying, I got you, I got you. I'm going to come down over here, and I'm going to pick him up in man coverage. So they start with their little key. All of a sudden, in the middle of it, we run out the other direction. So now in this position, let's talk about alignment, all right? In this position, when he goes back this way, this defense is originally going to say, we got to go back to our original rules. He should be running over there to guard that man. But because of the position they're in when the ball is snapped, this is the widest defender. This was the original corner who's now inside. And then this is like a nickel player. So what happens here is, I can tell you how they get confused. He is saying, oh, you know what? I can see the little swing. We've gone over this. I'm going to be the widest guy. I'm going to take him. He doesn't realize it until all of a sudden we get an inside stem here, and then we get a vertical deep like post pattern. This player here picks him up, so we run him off. So now what you have is you have these two underneath players that are feeling Isaac setting up a block. Isaac setting up a block, and this player over here on this wheel. So I'm going to clean it up real quick because I want to talk about this. As Isaac looks like he's setting up the block and he's going to bluff him, usually these get down the sideline like this. Isaac does a really good job here of recognizing I'm not going to be able to get to this spot, so I'm going to sneak my way through here and just get vertical as fast as I can. Now watch these guys trigger. And maybe it was the contact here. As this guy made contact, Isaac had to lose him to the outside. And because he lost to the inside, he's going to take the inside path. There he goes inside. He's right up the numbers. Okay. Now let's talk about what Keaton does really, really well here. Obviously on this pump right there, we can feel them trigger. You can feel this. The next thing you got to be aware of is this route running that guy off. Yes. All those things are happening. Isaac gets held a little bit. I got to buy some time. Watch the space that Keaton steps into. You feel this as a quarterback. You feel these arms around you for sure as a quarterback. And as you separate the ball right there in your hand, as you take the ball back, you can feel the hands around you. This is a very short stroke for Keaton. He's protecting the ball as he's trying to throw it. This is difficult to do. He's also in what I call a very forward position. You can see his weight forward. He is finding a way to get the ball down here to Isaac, which he does, and we have a great catch, right? Great catch by Isaac, tips it to himself. We're down the field for a huge gain. The way that they executed this, the play was set up well, but it did not play out perfectly. Isaac had to lose that guy to the outside, slip inside. Keaton had to step up into a really small space. That was a great job by both of those guys to find a way to make the play, and a great catch on Isaac's part.
Okay, here it is, second quarter. This is the option play. Plays out really, really well. These are the type of things we brought Keaton in for. Obviously, we know we didn't, but the fact that he can execute it is really, really good. Let's talk about why it works out so well. Man coverage, man coverage, man coverage, man coverage, man coverage. They are trying to keep our back in protection. What that means is, let's say it's a pass play. We're going to have the 5 down lineman plus our running back potentially, or he could flare out on some type of pass pattern. Okay, but what they're doing is they are going to blitz this backer in an attempt to keep our back in protection. Because what would happen if our back stepped up in protection and he was guarding him in man, he would then key blitz or trigger or green dog, what people say. Meaning, well, if you're going to stay in protection, I'm going to add on. I'm going to add another blitzer because you're standing in there. This right here is I am going to blitz in an attempt to make you pick me up, and that way you cannot get out on a route. It's limiting the amount of people that can get out on routes. But it plays so well for us because this little blitz that they have on, this guy that's lined up on this outside shade of our guard, he's going to attack the A gap. I'm actually going to use one with arrows. He's going to attack the A gap. He's going to come and be the B gap guy. And that leaves this guy on an island, because what we're doing offensively is we're going to basically slide. We're moving this direction to leave one end man on the line of scrimmage that becomes the guy that we are optioning right here. That's the guy we're going to option off of. The other thing that works out really well, here you can see, notice how all of these guys just fall into our line slide, which isolates the one man. And then the nice thing also out here, it's man coverage, it's man coverage, it's man coverage. They're just going to block their guys, or they can run their guy off, which means at times if this guy's eyes are locked on, he doesn't know if it's a run or pass. They don't know if it's run or pass. So you can run the guy off and he'll turn his back and he's running down the field with his back to the play, and he doesn't even realize we've optioned this ball and our running back has it. So as I let it play off, you can see what our wide receivers are doing. Right? Running off, running off. These guys have no idea what's happening. They don't even know that the ball's already in midair and our running back is about to get it and be off to the races. So the option works out great. Now it's just a sprint. We win on the race against this guy, the one unblocked guy. If you notice, we are going to block everybody in here. This is the guy we're going to option. This is the guy that's unblocked. Because of that, it's a sprint. It's just a race to beat that guy, which we beat him. Now the next guy, this is the free safety. He has eyes in the backfield because he's not manning anybody up. He can see the play. This play worked out perfect, just like we would hope. We forced that guy to make the tackle. We outrun the backer. Great option play.
All right, in this clip, BYU's trying to put together a little 2-minute drive. They get the ball. They want to start out picking up some first downs. So they go with a play that you see them run quite often. I call this like a shallow block play. What it basically is you're going to get everybody up the field blocking, and then you're going to have a shallow route underneath. Now, unfortunately, this is the play that ended up being fumbled. I just want to talk about what the scheme is. It was a good little choice right here, okay? They're dropping into coverage. We're not running off man, but what you're going to see is, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get pressing vertical, blocking, pressing vertical, blocking, pressing vertical and blocking. The back's going to come out of the backfield, press vertical, and he's blocking. And then this receiver is going to run along the line of scrimmage. As long as he catches the ball on or behind the line of scrimmage, all of these guys can be upfield blocking. This can be blocked, 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 blocked. We have 4 blockers for this shallow route. So it's originally set up pretty good. Here you can see Arkansas is in a shell coverage right here. They're in a shell coverage. They're going to sink with depth. A lot of the times the reason for the shell coverage in this 2-minute is a little bend, not break. We're going to keep everything in front of us. We are not going to let them throw something over the top of us. So great play call saying we're going to throw a shallow route. You're going to give us the shallow route, and then we're going to get these guys upfield on blocks, upfield on blocks. Okay? It's just like a screen, but we're using the receivers instead of the linemen, and they're upfield blocking. So here we go. We have everything set up perfectly. You can see this. We're on the block. We're on the block. This player is going to get up and get on the block. Isaac's going to get up and get on the block. Everything's looking really, really good. We have the ball in his hands. As you can see, it's pretty good. Now, what we do, this is the part, we lose him to the inside. We lose this guy to the inside right here, and I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to push him by in hopes that he can see this and then get outside of him, right? It's not a bad thought at all. It's a good thought. But this guy, the defender, does a really good job of being aggressive and then jumping into our guy. That right here, I believe puts his helmet right on the football. Helmet, shoulder pad right on the football. That's how it comes out, right? It's tough too because he is in a position, he doesn't want to get a holding penalty right there. Block in the back, excuse me. Once this player makes that little trigger move right there, he does not want to block him in the back and get a penalty. So he's trying to back off a little bit to not get a penalty. That guy lunges forward. Tough play for BYU. We cough it up in an opportunity to potentially try to get something down the field. They get the ball back in already close to field goal range.